Hey everyone, and welcome back to the club, and welcome to our very first art challenge. And today we'll be creating an original character based on the porcupine. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the eyes. Starting with the one on the left, I'm going to draw a curve from the outside to the inside. From here, I'm just going to turn up the brow. It's curving up. Let's do the same thing on the right side. Starting with the brow line at the top, we'll curve in, and I'm going to curve the top of the eyelid, going to the outside. Let's go ahead and tuck in the eyes underneath. So we're going to leave a little overlap on the top here and just draw a half circle curving all the way around to the inside. We'll do the same thing on the right side here, starting on the inside this time, curving around and then tucking that underneath the top. Let's go ahead and draw in a highlight circle on the top left. So up here, I'm just going to draw a circle, and I'm going to color the outside area in black. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the right side. So we're going to do a highlight circle on the top left, and we'll color everything else in black. And if you're joining us for the first time, we use Sharpie fine point markers for all our lessons, and you can buy these at pretty much any stationery store. Okay, so we got the eyes. Let's give them some eye bags underneath. So up here in this corner, I'm just going to draw a curve that comes down below the eye. We'll do the same thing on the right side. From here, I'm going to draw in the mouth. So I'm going to give him a big smirk. Starting from the left, I'm going to curve down and then out. So it's almost like a little wave that goes across the face like that. Let's draw in the bottom part of the mouth. So from the center here, I'm going to curve down and then tuck that in underneath that top line, leaving a little overhang here. I'm going to draw in some gridded teeth. So on the side here, I'm just going to draw a straight line coming down and color the right side in black. From here, I want to draw a straight line across, a short little straight line. And on the bottom section here, I'm just going to draw a little line coming down and then color that in black, just so it looks like a little bit of an overbite. I'm going to give a little indication of the nose. So the nose on the porcupine is basically just a little curve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a wide curve just above the mouth, from left to right. And then up here, I just want to draw a little wrinkle in the opposite direction, just maybe two little curves going up in the middle there. From here, I'm going to draw in the bottom part of the lip. So the lip actually just rolls over underneath this part of the mouth. So just here, I'm just going to draw a curve like this. Around the face, I'm going to actually put the character inside, sort of like a mask, but that has an opening for the face. So up in the middle, I'm going to curve it out this way. So up on top of the edge of the left eye here, I'm going to curve down towards the center. Center of the face. We're going to curve up towards the right. Now from these points, I want to curve around the face, just the edge of the face, and come into the center here. So from the top left, I'm just going to go around the eye, and then just come in towards the chin. And as I get up here, I'm just going to tuck this in underneath that lip line. Let's do the same thing on the right side. So I'm going to curve it around this way. Starting from the bottom, curving up, and we're just going to make our way to the top of the right side. Okay, so we got pretty much the face. We're going to start building out and start adding in those long quills on the head. So in the center here, I'm going to draw the first row of quills. So just above the center point, I'm going to draw a U shape. This is the socket for the first quill. I'm going to draw it pretty long. So I'm going to draw a point right in the middle at the top, and I'm going to curve out. So it curves out and just comes into that point. And on the right side, we'll do the same thing. And then we're going to draw another one right in behind it. And so in order to do that, I need to know how high the head's going to be. So the head's going to be quite big. So up to about here. So I don't want to make the socket higher than that point. So I'm going to draw the socket in behind, right about here, about halfway down this quill. So on the left side, I'm going to draw a curve. And on the right side, I'll draw a curve. From these 2 points, I'm going to go up to the top point of the quill. From here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm basically going to curve and pull that into that point there. Curve on the right side and pull that in as well. Now we're going to have to build a branch of them coming out from the brow area and the front of the head. So what I want to do is I'm going to move down this way and draw a series of quills. Let's draw one over here. So I'm going to do that same U shape. And I'm just following this line so that I'm just going to draw these quills along that line path. From this point, I'm going to curve up towards the left, and then I'm just going to curve it back in down to the side there. We'll draw another one beside it. So I'm just going to block out the ones in the front row. So here I'm going to draw another one, a little U shape. I'm going to bend this one out to the side so it goes out even further. Pull this one in here, like that. Let's draw the ones on the right side now. So up here, I'm going to make sure that the gap in between is roughly the same. So drawing that U shape. From here, I want to get to the same height. So curving up to about there, and then curving up on the right side. We'll draw another one right over here on the right side. Draw that U shape, and I want to make sure that I bend this out pretty far. So curving out like that. And then the right side of it will curve up like this. Okay, so that's starting to look pretty cool. We're going to stack them in the back as well. So I want to draw, again, looking at the top of the head, I'm going to draw the head that big. I don't want the actual ends of the quills to go past that. So I'm going to start down here. I'm just going to do an overlap so that these quills in the front overlap on top of the ones in the back. So right about here, I'm going to curve out. And then I'm going to pull that back in behind the front quill. So it looks like it's in front of the one in the back there. We do the same thing here. So right here, curve up, and then I'm going to pull that back in behind the front row. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Starting down here, lining it up, and curve up and out, and I'm going to pull that back in behind the front row. We'll do one more. So lining up the base right here, curve this out to about that high, and then I'm going to pull that back in behind the front row. Okay, so now we got the main quills. Now I'm going to draw on the head. So the head, I usually draw the chin really small. It goes out to the top of the head. So the head, I'm going to locate to about there. So I'm going to start to imagine this curve for the top of the head in between the quills there. This is going to have to come down on the side, so right about here. So I'm just going to take this point, go in behind the quills, and just aim towards my finger here. So I'm just curving down like that. Let's go to the right side and do the same thing. So I'm going to put my finger to the side of the head and basically just aim the side of the head down there. Comes down like that. I'm going to bring these down towards the chin. I'm going to leave the gap open on the chin area because I want it to work in with the body. So I'm just going to come in like this. And then on the right side I'll do the same thing. So just kind of ending it off like that. I'm going to give him some ear covers. Like most superheroes have these ear covers. So up here, I'm going to draw a curve that goes around. And on the right side, I'll do the same thing. So curving around like that. Let's do some separations along this thing. So I'm just going to go up to the top and just draw a curve, just for a little added detail. Kind of looks cool like that. Now I'm going to add in a third row of quills on the back here. So right behind the head, we're going to go up here and just draw a curve going in behind the head. And then we'll pull it in so it kind of tapers wider. Let's go to the right side and do the same thing. So going up here, I'm always looking at these points, the little gaps in between, to make sure the spacing is consistent so we have a nice balance from left to right. Over here on the left side, we'll do it again. One more, and pull that into the side of the head. Over here again, looking at that gap, pull that out, and do that one more time. Okay, so if you want, you can always go back and draw a third layer in between these quills if you like, but I'm just going to leave it as is for now. Let's get down to the body. So with all my chibis, I usually draw the body really small. The body is about the same height as the head. So if that's the case, my feet would come down to here. My waist would be from the middle point between the chin and the feet, which is here. So on either side, I'm going to draw a curve for my hips going out. From here, I want to draw in the center point. So I'm going to draw a big belt. So I want to give him a big chunky belt. From the top, I'm going to draw a circle. Going all the way around, back up to the top. I'm going to trace this out. So we've got a little bit of trim around the buckle. And in the center, I'm going to give him a logo. So I'm just going to do the P. So P for porcupine. Go across the bottom, go up. And from this corner, we'll just curve around. We're going to do a big block lettered P shape, just like that. We're going to take these points and curve the bottom of the belt in behind the buckle. So it goes in and out on the right side, and then up here we'll curve in behind the buckle as well. From here, we're just going to draw in the shoulders. So I'm going to separate the arms a little bit. So up here, I'm just going to curve from the chin down to the body. Do the same thing on the right side. Now from here, I'm going to work my way down to the legs before I get into the arms. So locating the lower torso, I'm just going to draw a curve in the middle. We're going to curve the inside of the right leg. So stepping in, curve the right side, and you got a little overlap there. We'll do the same thing on the left side. Let's draw in the bottom of the feet. Now, because the porcupine can climb trees, I'm gonna have to give him some claws. So from this point in the heel, I'm gonna curve to the first claw of the toe. From here, I'm gonna curve up and just kind of let it stop right about there. We're gonna do a series of overlaps to create 3 toes. So I'm gonna move up on the toe, curve out, curve back up. One final one, curving out. And I'm just gonna curve this above the toes and just kind of stop right about there. From this hip, I want to curve down to the top of that foot. Just like that. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the right side. So I'm going to draw from the heel to the first claw, going down to about there. I'm going to pull this back, up. We'll do an overlap. So up here, we'll curve out, and curve up. One final one, curving out. And then we're going to do the top of the foot, curving to the top of the foot, right about there. From the hip, we'll curve down to the top of the foot there. Let's give him some cool boots. So up here, I'm just going to draw the trim of the boot by drawing a curve from left to right on both sides. We'll give him some shorts. So from this point here, I'm going to curve out towards the right hip, going upwards. We'll do the same thing on the left side. Now we're going to give him some knee pads because he crawls around quite a bit. So up on the left side of the leg, we'll curve down. And we need a band here, so we're going to curve across the back of the leg. Let's do the same on the right side. So curving down and back. If you want, you can add some trim. So up here, I'm just going to trace out the outer perimeter of the knee pad on both sides like this. Curving around. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. Let's get into the arms. So I'm just going to have the arms like this. He's got some claws because he needs them for climbing. So I'm going to start with the inside part of the arm first. So from this point where the body meets the shoulder, I'm going to curve towards the thumb area right here. From here, I'm going to do an overlap and curve the thumb. So we're going to do pretty much similar treatment to the toes with the hand. So from this point, I'm going to do a half circle, curved around like this. This is this part of the hand to the tip of the first claw. I'm going to curve up like this. We're going to do the same thing we did with the toes, doing some overlap. So halfway along this finger, I'm going to curve down. And roll this back up. Again, halfway down, we'll curve down. And then here we're going to curve into the wrist. Now from here, we want to work our way to the top of the arm. I'm going to give him pretty big arms. So what we want to do is take this point and curve underneath the jaw. We're going to give him some gloves. So up here, about halfway down the arm, I'm going to draw some gloves like this. And I'm going to put some quills on the back of the arm so he's got some little weapons on the back of his arms here. So from this wrist, I'm going to curve out. I'm going to pull that back in. We'll do one more big one up here. And we'll pull that back in to the arm. Let's take that and do the same thing on the right side, just flipped over. Starting from the armpit area, we're going to curve down to that wrist. Do an overlap, curving down to the thumb, and we're going to roll around to the index finger, just like that. Take this finger and just pull it up. Do an overlap. From the center point of this curve, we'll curve down. Pull that back up again. Halfway through here, we'll pull down again. Now we're going to go to the outside point of the wrist. So right about here, and we'll curve up underneath the chin. So I'm looking at that space there. We want that same gap at the top as well. Curving down to the wrist. Let's draw that glove halfway down the arm, and we're going to draw the quills on the arm. So up here, curve up, and taper it. We'll do one more here. So the shorter one on that wrist, just like that. I want to add some final details to make him actually really look like a porcupine. And the quills of a porcupine are actually almost like striped from black tips to the white. So I'm going to go in each one of these and draw a little bit of a black tip. So starting with the middle one here, I'm going to go just about here and just draw a curve that goes up like that. I'm going to go ahead and color that in black. And I'm going to basically do the same thing on every quill. So going up like this. Now the ones on the side are going to be treated a little bit differently because they're pointed that way. So from here, I'm just going to curve upwards like that. Color that in black. Do the same thing here. And we'll do the opposite treatment on this side. So these ones are curved up high on the inside, so we'll do the same thing on this side. So here, we'll curve down towards the right. More here, and we'll probably add that same treatment to the arms as well. So here I'm going to take this point and draw a curve going up like that, so that they're matching the ones on the head. Curve up. Do the same thing on this side. So we're going to curve down towards the right, fill that in like that. And you can always go ahead and add more details if you like. I encourage you to go out there and try this. It's a lot of fun. We're going to call this guy the Porcupine. Send us your art challenge in the comment section. Be sure to like this video and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.